If we combine Hollywood, Bollywood, entire revenue, even a gaming industry will still win versus the revenue collected by all these three industries. So this is how the big industry is. The only thing that I sense is like there is not much awareness about it. So when you share this with your parents, okay, I want to build games, or like I want to be a game developer. So there might not be awareness, like compared to when you say, okay, I want to go and work with Google, I want to go work with Fang companies, yeah, something like, or currently the Mang companies, right? So as Facebook has changed their name, so obviously it is not as, what I can say, mainstream fame kind of industry where like everybody is like running behind it. But definitely there is a huge industry, and we definitely have a good chance to capitalize on that industry as well, Abhi, in today's world. Okay.
Got it. And then, secondly, a lot of people like generally asking, this comes from my experience of like past 3 4 years, where I have also got to interact with a lot of people who wanted to learn game development. Like, they say, when I say that, why do you want to learn game development? The
Hmm.
first answer that comes from the top of their head is, hey, I love playing a lot of games. I play like PUBG
Hmm.
5 hours a day, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I want to become a game developer.
Hmm.
So the first reaction that comes to my head is that, dude, playing games and building games are two like poles apart things.
Yeah.
And like, what's your take on this? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
how do you think? Like saying that, I love playing games.
Hmm.
Can I say that I'll become a game developer as well? Like,
Hmm.
how is it?
Yeah, yeah. So it's a really interesting question, first of all. So, like, as per like I had experience with the industry, right? So I have interacted with bunch of folks. So I have seen principal engineers, or like senior level engineers, who are working in this gaming industry, and majority of them are not hardcore gamers. Okay, that's what I have felt. But what I will say, there are like, if you take a game developers as a set, then I can definitely say that 90 to 95% of the game developers will be gamers. That I can tell you. Obviously, there will be few exceptions, like the most senior people might not be getting enough time to play games actively, or like hardcore gamers. But definitely, you can relate this. Every game developer, it's like 90 to 95% of the times he will be a gamer. He or she will be a gamer. Definitely, there is a resonance in terms of liking the games and making the games. If you really like the games, if you really enjoy the games, you can even make games like in next level. Like right now, like there will be a level up if you have a keen understanding, keen love towards games. Coming back to the different side, if you are a gamer, then obviously gamer is not a game developer, is not necessarily to be a game developer. So obviously, if you are passionate towards gaming, properly game playing, then your career might be different, because playing games, it's an entirely different industry, and building games is again an entirely different industry. But yeah, like vice versa is not true. I will like finish with that note. Game developer, definitely there are high chances you will be loving games, but yeah, gamer, there are very few chances for becoming game developer.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if you love playing games, like becoming game developer, like will only be like, you'll only get certain advantage to become a
Yeah,
game
yeah,
developer. But yeah, like you need intrinsic motivation to
yeah.
build games, and to just sum it up all this in one line. Like when you want to become a game developer, you'll have to sit for hours in front of a computer screen where you'll be
Yeah,
coding all the time.
yeah.
You'll not be watching walkthroughs of a game, but you'll be probably coding in front of a black screen, and that will be for long, long hours, right?
Yeah, and yeah,
So
most important thing is you might be spending weeks to just what I can say, just amplify the force, or like you will be like you might be doing the same things for the week. So if you want to implement a level, that level entirely can take a entire month as well. So you need to be prepared for that, because on the other hand, if you are a gamer, obviously you might be finishing like tons of games in a month, right? But versus if you're a game developer, you might be working on an exact same level for months. So
so
there is
like
a huge difference.
perfecting one
Perfecting
single
that,
thing.
Exactly.
for
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 long
like
duration.
long duration, doing it frequently, and that also like pisses you off
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
certain
obviously.
case, because I have heard a lot of stories of people who are in Rockstar Games, and while they were building GTA 5, like which
Yeah,
a lot of people love playing, like any Grand Theft Auto series.
yeah,
So while they were building GTA, there was a dedicated team that was just sitting and perfecting that, how the car has to move, or how the tire has to
yeah,
move,
yeah,
right? So they need to perfect that art as well.
yeah,
So it is like frustrating for someone to come to office daily, and like I'm honestly not trying to scare you guys away, but if there's someone who's genuinely interested in programming, right, game development is probably the best thing that you can do out of it,
hmm,
because here you'll not be shipping projects for a IT based company, a
yeah,
boring project where the output is uh, that you are enabling a third world country in just like building an app or something, right?
yeah,
But if you are a good programmer, if you really love coding, so then going into game development is probably something in which the output that you are doing will be very much the output that you are building will be very much exciting, and it will be
yeah,
intriguing because that is actually a playable thing, like people will be able to enjoy it,
yeah.
right? Game developers have pulled out people from depression, anxiety, and mental illnesses.
True.
So that's the biggest impact that someone can put on some lives, right? So again, coming back to that topic, uh, that where people in Malay, there's some background noise from your end.
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So coming back to that point again, that perfecting one skill at a time and perfecting one thing at a time, there are huge teams involved in that. But now, like we have talked a lot about programming and we have talked a lot about coding. I am very, very sure that there will be a lot of people in here as well who are not only inclined towards programming, but also want to explore the other venues, like where you can build a career in gaming industry. So game programming is one. Malhar, like if you have to put like what other departments can someone explore their career in. Let's say I am a non-tech person. Like here, majority of people are from coding background. Let's
Hmm,
say if there are some who does not love coding. Let's say they're
hmm,
just doing it because they are in computer science department. Well, let's say they don't love. They are like hell bored out of coding. Like don't want to do it. So like,
yeah.
what are opportunities for them in the gaming industry?
Okay. Cool, cool. Yeah, like I will answer this, but yeah, I will like just add few of the points. First of all, game programming, game development is really fun. It is not like that you will like you will feel it repetitive. The only thing is if your motivation is only playing games, that will not gonna help you. If your motivation is to play games and then you are thinking you will become game developer, then that might be a friction. But
Mhm.
overall, like I have spent 2 to 3 years developing games, and I was loving each and every day of my life at that time. And obviously I'm currently enjoying as well, but yeah, like those were also the awesome days. But yeah, like you guys need to understand there is a difference between a gamer and a game developer. That is the
Mhm.
only thing. Gaming, it can't be the only thing that is driving you towards the game development. Can't be the only thing. That is the only point. Coming back to the variety of the, what I can say, verticals inside the gaming industry, there are tons of verticals. Like as Piyush is saying, like there is an art vertical as well, right? So in art also there are different types. Like there is an environment art, there is like proper 2D art, 3D art, UI art. So like there are like multiple levels inside the art itself.
Mhm.
VFX, SFX will also come under the art. What is VFX? Like that is a visual effects, and SFX is sound effects, right? So these departments will already come under the art. Again, animation will come also under the art. Animation will also have subparts like 2D animation, 3D animation, spine animation, like or like bone animation, like what not shit, right? I am not coming from that proper art background. I might not able to code them everything, but yeah, like I can definitely tell you there are 50 other departments that you can capitalize on, even if you are not a programmer, and you can still work. The second most, what I can say, the, what I can say, like the pretty advanced like vertical is the QA itself. Many
Mhm.
people recognize like QA in what I can say, any software companies are totally different. And trust me, QA in a gaming company slash industry is totally different. You will get the entirely different experience if you are a QA inside any gaming company, because QA is the guy who talks with game designer, game programmer, game artist, and game producer as well. So you are actually the bridge between all of the departments if you are a QA. So that is the huge difference versus any software traditional industry. If you are simply a tester or like QA in any other software industry, you might be like hardly interacting with few of the folks. But in the gaming industry, like QA holds an entirely different responsibility. And to be frank, that's also fascinated me like at my early age of the career. But yeah, QA is that vertical. Then art, we already spoke about. Design itself is an entirely different vertical. Then we covered, I guess, design, art, QA, then development, tech. And again, inside tech also there are different things. There is a graphic programming, there is a tool programming, there is animation programming itself. So yeah, like in short, again, like I'm not scaring anybody. There are like multiple verticals that you can go deep into and you can choose career. But yeah, like that is it all about gaming industry. I just want to share one thing at the end. To build one proper game, right? Trust me, there are multiple hands involved in it. Obviously there are games who are made by 2 people, 10 people. Those are called as indie games. But if you take the example of any game like GTA, trust me, there are thousands of people working on that. And yeah, purely non-technical role, Piyush, as you said, you can again go in the direction of game producer, game manager, and all that stuff. So you will be
Yep.
actually managing the team and interacting with everybody to make sure that the product is awesome. But yeah, like that is it. Like these are all the verticals that I know.
Yep, got it. So another thing that I wanted to add is if there are people who are fascinated by music and all, right? For them, the SFX part that Malar highlighted, that would be something where you can contribute as well. So whatever games you play, there are sound effects added in each one of them. Like whenever player does a movement, right, there's a sound effect added to it. So there are a bunch of games like if you just recall Mario, right? Every level that you were playing had a unique audio theme to it. So there were some audio engineers sitting for that as well, who were who created that music that was going in the background for every level. And like the design of the sound is also so amazing that when you are moving from level one to level the last level, the beats per second for every the beats per minute for every level rises till the end. So if you recall, like the last level, the music that has been played in the last level is very fast comparative to the level one. Plus, whenever Mario jumps, there's a sound effect. Whenever Mario hits the coin, there's a sound effect. Whenever you get that mushroom, there's a sound effect. So there is a there are very artistic people sitting behind that as well. So
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends who have done engineering. I haven't done engineering. Uh, I apparently dropped out of the college, so that is a different story. But but there are bunch of folks who did engineering, but after they are into engineering, 3 years down the lane, 4 years down the lane, they realize shit. I did not want to become like an engineer, but I want to become an artist. A lot of people usually do engineering just to explore what the hell they were supposed to do in their life,
Yeah.
right? So if you are one of those, probably this industry can again be something that you can look up to. Malari was saying something.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, like there are like tons of minute details that actually gamer also can't spot, and that's where like there is a difference between a gamer and game developer comes into picture. Obviously, if you are like into gaming for like around 10 plus years, then you will obviously able to catch those minute details. But yeah, like 1 year of game development experience will definitely gonna catch you those minute details in a like much more like an in wider angles or wider lens. That's what I feel. But yeah, I can see bunch of folks have joined. First of all, hi and thanks a lot for joining everybody. Uh, I request you, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. And yeah, like I would really love to see your faces as well if you can. But yeah, like that is it. Like I just wanted to welcome everybody. I guess bunch of people joined our like call.
Yep. So whosoever is here, please feel free to turn on your cameras as well. We would love to see your lovely faces. And mm, we are waiting for your questions because this is turning out to be again a one-way interaction, and
Yeah.
we usually don't love doing that. That just speaking from our end. We would have wanted like this could have been a more interactive session. But again, Malar, I have few questions
Mm-hmm.
that people would want to ask. That a lot of like people who want to enter the industry usually have in their mind. So, like, how is growth in the gaming industry? So, like you mentioned,
Hmm.
that from QA tester in IT industry, you would generally become a senior tester, or
Hmm.
then it would be hard for you to transition into engineering.
Yeah.
Or but let's say if you are a QA tester in gaming industry, I have seen a lot of profiles who end up becoming producers. Like,
Yeah.
how does that happen, and uh, how is it possible? Like,
Hmm.
just give some insight there as well. Like, how is the growth trajectory? That let's
Hmm.
say I get first job in the gaming industry, but then how do you think that that will grow 5 years down the lane, 10 years down the lane? What can I expect? How will my career grow?
Yeah. So first of all, like QA, as I already shared about that role, right? Like many people have that misconception that uh, if you are a QA slash tester, then you are like you will not have the great career trajectory. It is not true. Like I strongly believe QA will be your first step. Like if you're entering into any company, like yeah, like if you're fortunate enough to enter as a developer slash designer or any core mainstream kind of role like artist, like designer or like developer, whatever that it is, that is also fine. But even if you are entering as a QA, you have that leverage to connect with bunch of people. That is the thing. So okay, like I will give you an example. So suppose Piyush is here and Piyush wants to like Piyush is super passionate about game design. He really loved designing the games. So he entered as a QA. But Piyush and like as a person, he should like always make sure that and always should keep in his mind that okay, my goal is to become game designer. So I need to grasp as much as possible in terms of game design while I am talking with the game designer. So that is how like you have that leverage to interact with your like bunch of folks. And QA is a role which allows you to interact with bunch of roles. So I personally think that is the biggest contributor. And as you mentioned as well, right? Like bunch of QAs are getting transitioned as into a developer. Bunch of QAs are becoming right now a designers. So the major reason is that role itself allows them to interact with bunch of folks. And that's why like if my keen interest is towards development, obviously I would be grasping a lot of things from the developer. If your interest is more into the designer, then obviously you will be grasping most of the things from the designer end. So it's all about like at the end it's all about where you want to see yourself. And yeah, like coming back to the producer thing, obviously it is also possible, right? Because you are also like in a constant touch with the producers and like to-do list, okay, bug list, there are tons of improvements need to be done, like all those things. You like all those things are pretty close to you. So to like for me, after QA, where you want to go will be your total choice. It is not like that QA to developer is easy, QA to producer is hard. It is, I personally don't quote it in that way because I have seen bunch of people going in all the direction that they want. But yeah, like that was a pretty QA specific question. But yeah.
Got it. So, Malad, there is a lot of questions. There are a few questions in the chat as well.
Mhm.
But before we dive into those, like there are very generic questions that a lot of people ask. We'll surely take them up as well. But before we dive into those, I would want to, share a few journeys with everyone here.
Okay.
That a lot of people feel that transitioning into game development is very difficult.
Hmm.
That it is very difficult to become a game developer or to enter in
Yeah.
any genre of gaming industry.
Got it.
but wanted to quote some stories, and it's better that we start from your story itself.
Okay.
So in let's keep it very short and quick.
Hmm.
And how would you tell your story in, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes? Like, how you decided, when did you decide that you wanted to become a game developer? How did you start learning game development? And then eventually, how were you able to break into the industry and get your first job or
Hmm.
first internship in the gaming industry? So that
Got
will
it.
give everyone a clear idea of what they'll have to do in order
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
become a gamer.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I would love to answer that. Because yeah, everybody will have a different story, right? So my story is like again a different. First of all, like since childhood, I was like pretty much sure about like my love towards games. I was curious since childhood only. Ki, okay, like if I still remember, I played my first game of Aladdin. Aladdin was the game that I played. And like as soon as I was like playing that game, as soon as I was hitting that space bar, my curious mind was like triggering and saying, okay, why he's only jumping when I'm pressing space bar? Why he's only moving when I'm moving the arrow keys? How he's able to understand, how the computer is able to understand. So that's where like I led towards the computer engineering. I really expected that if I chose the branch of computer science, I can become a game developer and I can make games. Unfortunately, that was not true. So that was the first reason. That was the core reason for joining the computer science in the first place. So from the very early age, like literally like fourth to fifth standard only, I was like only knowing, okay, I want to do something about computer because I was knowing it has to do something with computer, right? Computer is understanding that I'm pressing space, I'm pressing arrow keys, and then the game is getting created. So that was the reason I joined the computer science. Then after like the 3 years went like super dead. 3 to 4 years went like super dead. I didn't get any clue towards game development where my actual interest was lying. And to be very frank, I would love to admit I was dumb. I couldn't even able to Google it properly, right? I was just one search away from my passion because at that time, like okay, like I'm also not coming from like 90s, right? But at that time there was good amount of internet. Obviously there wasn't a geo kind of thing. Like right now the internet is like super booming. It is easily accessible. Obviously it was not that accessible, but still I was coming from that era where you can access the internet, but I couldn't able to Google properly. That like delayed my process like till fourth year. And yeah, like once fourth year started, I started facing a lot of rejections from the proper IT companies because yeah, like I don't know why, like it was destined. I really don't know. But yeah, like parallelly I was preparing for gate. I cracked the gate as well, so I was having a solid fundamentals of the computer science. But for some reason I don't know, like to be very frank, if you ask me why I was getting rejected, many times it was like many people will call it as a bad luck. Okay, like some output is not getting generated, like pretty dumb reason. But I couldn't figure it out. I was simply getting rejected. Then I was thinking, okay, anyways, I'm continuously on a streak of rejections, right? Anyways, I always wanted to become a game developer, so I chose a even harder path. So like to be very frank, if you are a computer science graduate, getting into any MNC is not that hard. Okay. Again, I am not like what I can say. I'm not terrifying you, but it's the fact. It is much easier to get into a TCS Accenture kind of jobs if you are holding a computer science degree plus solid fundamentals because of the GATE exam. Anyways, I was like not doing good in that trajectory. Then I decided to go in a even harder trajectory, and I decided, okay, fuck it, I will go and like I will only focus on the game development only. And then from that, like again, I was like literally starting from zero. What to do, how to do, I was having no clue. I applied around hundreds of internship and I got rejected in each and every of them. It was like around 6 months of the journey. I was keep on getting rejected. I wasn't even getting a clue of it. And finally, I made my portfolio. I added few of the projects. And then like as soon as I created my portfolio and I went live for it, I got an internship within 2 weeks. So that is the thing that majority of the people are currently missing. They are like heavily like what I can say, they are not understanding the importance of the portfolio as much. So as soon as you show your work, like, because I was like, okay, hey, I am passionate about game development, hire me. They will be like, yeah, like there are like bunch of people who are saying the same. What is different in you, right? So first of all, you need to show your work to the world. So yeah, like I created the portfolio and I cracked my internship. And again, I was like, okay, up to like I'm sorted. Like I entered into gaming industry as a proper intern game developer. Now I can excel in this industry. And again, I was wrong. Because I spent 6 months doing the internship. Obviously, I learned a lot of things, the where I was, and after the 6 months, obviously I was a different me. But still, that wasn't enough to get into a proper good, like well-paying, I would say, well-paying, well-deserving game developer job. And then I discovered the Outscale, and I became the Outscale student. And then, actually, to be frank, in Outscale only, I actually learned the hard skills which are required to become a professional game developer. Because trust me, uh, in today's world, right, in the today's time, like in India might as well, bunch of the studios are also not mature enough, and we need to understand that first. Every studio is not a kick-ass studio where you will learn almost everything and you will see the massive growth, right? That we need to first accept. Many people think that, okay, if I get the internship, okay, I will be like kick-ass. It is not like that. It's all about like how much you hang around with the people. But yeah, like I experienced a tremendous growth when I became a student of Outscale. And then, like after upskilling myself, like in bunch of code architecture, design patterns, bunch of advanced things, I landed a job in like DevTouch. And yeah, like, and after that, I joined Outscale. I guess like we covered this after I become like game developer. I joined the Outscale. I guess we covered that story. But yeah, I guess I couldn't keep it short. Sorry for that, Piyush. But yeah, I guess we little bit overstressed the story. But I
Yeah,
hope everybody enjoyed.
yeah, that's fine. So it was good to hear that a a tier 3 college student who was not from IIT, IIM,
Yeah.
NIT colleges like these can
Hmm.
crack into good gaming companies. And this is not the one. This is not the only one story that we have. We have a lot of stories like these. If you'll go through Outscale's LinkedIn profile and Mayank, our founder's LinkedIn profile, you will get to read one story like this, like hundreds of stories like these, and like
Yeah.
people who have come from not only coding background, but there are a lot of people who came from humanities background, who came from commerce background. We had a student who came from mechatronics background and transitioned into game development. We had a student in the cohort who came from an architect background, who practiced architecture for 2 to 3 years, then transitioned into game development.
Yeah.
So transitioning into game development can happen from pretty much any field,
Yeah.
and it's not that difficult. Mm, the only thing that you need to do is just sit down for like 3 to 4 months, start coding, learn the hard skills, and it's probably not difficult for you to transition into the industry. So without wasting much time, what I'm going to do next is that I'll be sharing my screen. And when I had a word with Dr. Agvira, I promised him that for all those people who will be attending this session, we'll give out 3 courses to them. And these 3 courses are like designed by Malhar himself. Like Malhar and his team and the Outskills, like they have designed these courses, and the core intention to design these are that when you complete each course, you build a playable game at the end. And just give me a second and I'll share my screen, and I want you guys to just confirm when you are able to see my screen. So Akshay, Lakshmi, like, please confirm if it's visible. And for those who are on the Zoom call itself, please reply with yes, no, if you can see the screen.
Yeah. Piyush, just FYI, I answered almost all of the questions in the chat, in the
Yeah,
direct
yeah,
message. Just
yeah, yeah.
FYI, like I was typing and I almost answered it. Akshay, Rushil, and like whoever is in the call, feel free to again ask the questions if you have any doubts about my answers. But yeah,
Got
just
it.
FYI, Piyush. Thank you.
Got it. Can you see my screen? Just
Yeah,
confirm it once.
yeah, I can see your
Got it.
screen.
Cool. So, people, when you, so this is the link of the website, and we'll send it to you over the email as well. So this is where you can learn game development, and you can also get jobs in the gaming industry. Like I mentioned earlier, we are the only community across globe right now to help people build a career in gaming industry, plus like learn game development, then eventually get a job in the gaming industry as well. And as per a promise, like if you log in here, you'll have to create an account here. Like by you can simply log in here by creating an account. Once you have logged in, you'll see these two things in front of you: jobs and upskill. I'm right now considering that there are a lot of people from first year, second year, and third year departments who are not right away looking for jobs. I'll cover the job part next. But first, let's dive into the upskilling part where you can learn to build games. Okay. So when I click on build games, like I can see there are a bunch of courses here: full stack game development, Unity Advanced. These are like this is like a full-fledged 6-month program where will teach you everything from scratch. You start learning from learning the fundamentals of C++, fundamentals of data structures, and then you learn Unity gaming engine, and altogether you'll be building 20 plus game projects here. So this is Unity Advanced. This is for people who already know the fundamentals of Unity gaming engine and game development. But let's say for now, I'll go here for text-based adventure game. This is this course, this course, and this course. These three programs start from the very basics, and this will take you to the advanced level. The first game project, if you start learning from here, this will teach you fundamentals of C++. And when you are done with the program, at the end, you will have a playable game by your side. So why I am, emphasizing that you have a playable game, because now next time when you sit for an interview, uh, you can share the game that you have built to your interview. You can ask him to play the game that, this is what I have built. This is the prototype. You can play it right away. And that puts an amazing impression on someone who's hiring, right? Because they can physically feel it, what you have
Yeah.
built. And then this is the second game, Mr. Blocks. This is again, this will teach you the fundamentals of Unity gaming engine. The first game is built purely on C++. The second game will teach you the fundamentals of Unity gaming engine, and a lot of other things about the game engine itself, and a touch of C Sharp coding language as well. Right, Malar?
Yes, Piyush, you are correct. Because Unity uses C# only. Yeah.
Right, right. And then you want to give a very brief about the Battle Tank game and the design patterns, like because design pattern, programming pattern is something that even game developers who have had like 3 years of experience, 4 years of experience, even they don't know about it. So this is something that will give you heavy leverage on anything. So if you have learned this skill set, like getting an internship in any gaming industry, in any gaming company across India will be like hell easier for you. Like, people will be entering your DMs on LinkedIn, requesting you to join their internships, because usually, like, I'm not bragging about it, but a lot of students who go through these courses get a lot of like messages from recruiters on LinkedIn that,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
want to hire you, we want
They
to hire
actually
you.
got internship only. Like some also got the jobs as well, to be very frank. Like
Yeah,
if you are smart enough to build the portfolio out of the skills that you have acquired from here, right? If you are
yeah.
smart enough that like then you can definitely get a job as well. And even if you are doing these three projects and adding those in your portfolio, then definitely internship to like आसानी से मिल जाएगी. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll share the stats and facts what we are saying, like for what we are saying right now, like how people get job and internships after just doing like these 3 4 courses. And like I'm not specifically saying that you have to do these courses, but generally if you learn this skill set even through any other course, or even by going on YouTube, you'll easily get jobs, right? You'll easily get internships, and I'll tell you why afterwards. So this is the website where you can come and start learning right away. We have opened up these courses. All you have to do is just click here. You will find all the tutorials. You can see here. You'll see quizzes. You'll go through different modules. We have a module for Git. Then you start building this game by setting up the project. You learn player movement. You learn about setting up level design and creating game loop, like a lot of technical skills that you will get to learn if you only complete this one course, right? This is one, and then the other two courses are similarly like this as well. So now I'll be zooming out from the upskill section, and we'll be moving to the job section. So this is for those who are right now in their fourth year, and or people who are in the third year and trying to get placed in companies, right? If you already have a good skill set in programming and coding, you simply need to log in. You don't even need to log in first. Like you can access this web page right away, and you can just look up to all the companies that are hiring right now, and just come on Academy and see what all companies are hiring. And like you need to submit assignments in the upskill section, like you need to complete the course. Here when you come to the job section, you need to complete some assessments. So there are very simple way to do assessments. For example, there's one assessment for object oriented programming, one assessment for Unity gaming engine. So people who already know Unity game engine, only those will be able to take this. People who know programming patterns, only they'll be able to take it. So let's say if there is a guy named Rahul who have already learned programming patterns from our upskilling course, right? Then when he comes here, he can right away take this programming pattern assessment. And once you can, this is nothing but a test, a simple test. So like it mentions that it will take 7 to 10 minutes to complete this test. Once you go through this assessment, this will ask you general MCQ questions, and then there will be some questions that are that you'll have to answer, short text answers. So if you'll go through these, at the end you will get a score, right? So whatever score is there, on the basis of that, we'll be able to understand your skill set, and that is the thing that will attract a lot of job opportunities for you, because we have more than 75 gaming companies that have partnered with us. This includes companies like Rockstar, companies like Zynga, Ubisoft, Sumo Digital, and there are a lot of gaming startups like Leela Games, Bombay Play. I'm not sure if you guys have heard these names, but definitely they are doing something awesome in the Indian gaming industry. So when you take these assessments, these directly qualifies you to become part of those companies, right? We forward your CV to those companies, and they'll be directly interviewing you right away for this. So that is broadly the whole process. There are like 4 different assessments you can go through. So let's say people who already have understanding of coding, programming, you can simply come here and take your first assessment of object-oriented programming, right? You can create your profile on Academy. You can take your first assessment of object-oriented programming, and that will give us a clear insight that you have a strong hold on OOPS concept. And once we get to know this, we can start pushing out your resumes to those companies who are hiring for OOPS, right? So that is how right now the whole structure is working, and that's how the whole Game Academy is working. So all of you will get access to this website right away after this call. We are sending it out over your emails as well, the emails that you use to register. And for those who have not registered, I'll share the same link with Sachin and Dr. Raghuveera as well. So you guys will get the first access to this, and you can right away start learning game development without paying anything. This is like totally free of cost for Anna University for now. For students who are coming from Anna University, we'll give you a specific link. You sign up with that, and we'll know that this is coming from Anna University, and then you will get access to these courses. So that's pretty much it, I think. Um, I'll not take more time in defining about the academy. But yeah, there are a bunch of questions in the chat as well that broadly people in the auditorium would also want to know. One common question that Malas that comes out loud is that which engine should we use? Like should we use
Hmm.
should we learn Unity? Should we learn Unreal? Which gaming engine should we use?
Yeah. So for the beginners, in the chat only, I replied, I will definitely recommend a Unity. Why? Unity is easy to learn. It is not like Unreal is hard, but yeah, like if you are getting into the game development, Unity will help you to quickly absorb the skills. But yeah, like again, like for this question, I have a famous answer of mine. So okay, so if you want to go to abroad, right, you have to take the plane. But if you want to visit a friend's home, you will obviously using the bike, right? So it's all about the use case that you are trying to solve. So both of the Unity engines have different use cases. Sorry, I guess I said Unity engines. I mean both of the game engines have different use cases. Majority of the AAA kind of titles are made in Unreal. Again, there are exceptions. Some of the AAA titles are made in Unity as well. But yeah, I'm saying majority of the AAA games are made in Unreal. There are several technical reasons for it. On the other hand, majority of the mobile games or majority of the mobile titles are made in Unity. So mobile Unity will give you the advantage to quickly ship your projects, which is very important for the hyper casual market of the games. So it's all about what you are doing, and as per that, you need to pick the engine. It is not like which is better and which is not. It's all about the use case that engine is currently solving, and what are the strengths of that engine. So every as a person, we have a different strength. So just like that, Unity and Unreal has their own strengths. On the other hand, there are their own disadvantages, weaknesses as well, that you need to first understand as a game developer, and then you need to pick. At the end, game engine, it's just a toolkit to deliver your work. It is not as important. Once you become a developer, don't never become a Unity developer, never become an Unreal developer. Always aim for the game developer. So once you acquire this skill, like engine is nothing but a tool for you. uh like are there big too much background noise from my end, Piyush?
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool. I guess I answered it. Yeah.
Yep, you did. So, to sum that up, don't give a lot of shit about which gaming engine you
Yeah.
want to use. Like, it isn't like if you go into Unity, you cannot switch to Unreal, because a lot of people have this mindset that if I've chosen Unity, this is the only engine that I can learn. Right? No, it's not that way. We would rather emphasize. We usually do this for all the students that we have. That don't think a lot about the gaming engine that you're using, but try to focus more on the fundamentals and the basics of programming and data structures and all those things, because that is eventually what is used more to build any kind of game. Again, engine is just a medium. You can build the same game from Unity, you can build the same game from Unreal, you can do that on GoCos as well. And there are a bunch of more engines. So probably if you go to Electronic Arts, they're using engine of their own. So then they're neither Unreal is useful nor Unity, right? So that is just a engine. So if you know, but that also doesn't mean that keep on hopping from one to another. You cannot hop from one game engine to another. Just stick to one. Like if you've taken Unity, just stick to it, because our students, they usually learn game programming on Unity gaming engine. But there are a lot of people who, when they got the job, their first job after completing our program, they started working directly on Unreal. And to be honest, the learning curve wasn't that high. If they have already learned Unity, transitioning to Unreal will not be very difficult. But if your programming fundamentals are not very robust, uh, doesn't matter. Even if you are, great in Unity or you're great in Unreal. So I think that is it.
Yeah, Piyush. I guess there are 2 questions on LinkedIn as well. Like we are streaming on LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn audience has like 2 questions. One of them is like, is mass layoffs affecting game industry? As per my understanding,
So I think, Malhar, sorry to interrupt, but
mhm,
probably they have more sessions to take as well after this. So
mhm.
we just need to quickly sum it up.
Okay.
You took the question already, and the final pointers that I wanted to share are in the same line as well. So
Mhm.
Akshay Lakshmi will just close this on this note that a lot of people are talking about recession. A lot of people are talking about if they can build a serious career in the gaming industry, and if gaming industry is the if you'll get a safe job in this direction. We have one answer for this: IT industry versus gaming industry. Gaming industry is right now growing at 22% year over year base. This is the time where the number of jobs in the gaming industry are more than the number of applicants in the industry. So if you compare web developer to game developer, if you're applying for a web development job, like there will be 100 jobs available. Let's say for an example, and if you're applying for game development job, there will be only 20 jobs available. Okay. So you can say that the jobs for game development are way lower, way lesser. But for those 100 jobs, there will be 10,000 people who are applying for those 100 jobs. And if there are only 20 jobs for game development, there will be like 10 people, 15 people with true skill set that is needed who will be applying for that job. So
Yeah.
the probability of you getting jobs is way higher in gaming industry. And at the end, you only need one job, right? Like you do not need 10 jobs when it comes to like you being employed, right? So
Yeah.
focus more on that. And for those who are worried about layoffs and all, gaming industry is probably the like one of those industries that is recession proof, because while we were going through pandemic, uh, while everyone left, right, center was firing employees, it's still going on. Everyone like Facebook, Meta, Amazon, and all these big companies, Google. Sorry, I don't think Google fired, but majority bank companies have been firing their employees. But in gaming industry, you'll rarely see people firing their employees. Nobody is firing employees in the gaming industry because, again, of the same reason, because of the skill set. The
Yeah.
skill set is very still limited to only few people, and if you manage to enter that niche, if you manage to learn the skill set right now, uh, probably this would be the best time for you to enter the industry and then grow in next 5 to 10 years, because we all know that web3 is coming as well. So we can do
Yeah.
another session for web3 someday. But yeah, this is the end note that I want to wrap it up. Well, you can quickly take 1 or 2 minutes more, and we can just call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Cool. So yeah, like one again question is related to the QA. So I will quickly tell. I guess it's from Lakshmi. But yeah, like it is related to QA, and the question is like, I am experienced in 2 years in QA, but when I apply well-funded and like top companies, I am always getting rejected. Uh, but yeah, like the overall the question and the answer for the question is you need to build the right portfolio. As simple as that. If you want to transition into QA from game dev, simply make a game dev related portfolio and resume. Then only you will able to crack. If you are showcasing your QA skills and applying as a game developer job in any of the company, not even well funded, not even like big small, there are high chances you will get rejected. So the answer lies within the how you represent yourself and how you create your portfolio resume and how you build your hard skills. So that is the that is the core reason that's why you are getting rejected as per me. Okay, I guess that is the only thing that I wanted to cover. But yeah.
Yep. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much again. And this was a lovely session. We would have loved it more if we could have seen your faces as well.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, I think this is it then. For all those who are interested to uh, like join this journey, we also have our Discord community. You can become part of the Discord community as well. We solve all the queries there. Plus, you will get to interact with 10,000 gaming professionals who are already part of our Discord server. I'll share all the links with Sachin, and Sachin will be further sharing it with all of you. So thanks. Thank you so much. I think
Yeah.
we can call it today. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, guys.
Cool. Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Bye. See you. Have a great day.